Have you ever been woken up in the middle of the night with that sharp, pulling pain in your calf that just won't let go? One minute you're sleeping peacefully, and the next, bam, it feels like your leg is twisting into a knot all by itself. If that's happened to you, you know just how frustrating, painful, and even a little frightening it can be. And you're not alone. These nighttime leg cramps, or even the ones that sneak up during a simple stroll around the block, are incredibly common, especially as we grow older. But here's the good news. They're not just a part of aging that you have to accept. In fact, there are a few simple, natural changes you can make, starting right in your kitchen, that can help you kick those cramps to the curb and get you back to feeling strong, steady, and confident on your feet. Now, I want you to imagine this for a moment. Waking up after a full night's rest, no jolts of pain, no rubbing your leg in the dark, no hobbling to the kitchen for water or pacing the hallway just to make it go away. Imagine going for your daily walk without that constant worry of, what if my legs give out again? Doesn't that sound good? That's exactly why we're here today. Because the foods you eat, yes, the ones on your plate every single day, can make a world of difference when it comes to stopping leg cramps and keeping your muscles strong and reliable. And you don't need any fancy diets, supplements, or special shakes. Just 3 everyday foods that are easy to find, affordable, and actually enjoyable to eat. They're gentle on the stomach, kind to the joints, and full of nutrients your body will thank you for. But before we dive into the first one, I want to take a moment to say, you're doing great. Just by watching this video, by being curious about your health and wanting to feel better, you're taking a powerful step. It's never too late to learn something new, try a small change, or give your body what it's been missing. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to walk without fear. And most of all, you deserve nights of restful sleep, without being interrupted by sudden pain. Now, let's talk about a food you've probably eaten more times than you can count, but maybe never realized just how helpful it is for your legs. Let's talk about eggs. Yes, simple, humble eggs. Scrambled, boiled, poached, or baked, however you like them. Eggs are an absolute powerhouse when it comes to rebuilding and supporting aging muscles. They're full of high-quality protein, which your muscles need to stay firm, flexible, and less prone to cramping or fatigue. But here's where it gets interesting. Eggs also contain something that many seniors are missing, vitamin D. And without enough vitamin D, your body has a harder time absorbing calcium, which your muscles and nerves rely on to function properly. When those nutrients are out of balance, it's like your muscles are getting mixed messages, and that's when those sudden spasms or twitches happen, especially at night when your body is trying to relax. There's more. Inside that golden yolk is a quiet little hero, vitamin B12. Now, many older adults, especially after 60, start to lose the ability to absorb B12 efficiently. And guess what happens when your B12 levels are low? You might feel tired, your muscles may feel weak, and yes, leg cramps can become more frequent. Eggs are one of the easiest, most natural sources of B12 you can add to your meals. No pills, no powders, just food. And if you're someone who's struggled with appetite or stomach sensitivity, eggs are a gentle option. They're easy to prepare, versatile, and often tolerated well even when digestion isn't at its best. 1 or 2 eggs in the morning, maybe paired with some whole grain toast or a bit of sautéed spinach, can give your body a head start toward better muscle recovery and balance throughout the day. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what about cholesterol? That's a fair question, and one many seniors have asked over the years. But here's the reassuring part. Recent research has shown that for most people, eating eggs in moderation, say around 6 or 7 a week, doesn't significantly raise bad cholesterol or increase heart risk. In fact, eggs can be a part of a heart-healthy, muscle-friendly lifestyle when enjoyed alongside other nutritious foods. So if it's been a while since you've had eggs, maybe it's time to bring them back onto your plate. Your muscles just might thank you. And while we're here, if any of this is striking a chord with you, maybe you've had leg cramps recently or you're thinking about changes you could make, I'd be so grateful if you clicked the like button or shared this video with someone you care about. Sometimes just knowing we're not alone in this journey can be a source of comfort and strength. And you never know, your small action might make a big difference for someone else who's struggling with the same thing. We've talked about a lot already, haven't we? And yet, there's still more goodness to come. Simple things that can help your legs feel lighter, stronger, and more at ease. So take a deep breath, maybe pour yourself a cup of tea, and when you're ready, we'll keep this conversation going. One of the most comforting things in life is realizing that small changes, just the tiniest shifts, can create the biggest ripple effects. And when it comes to our health, especially after 60, it's not always about doing more. Sometimes it's just about doing one or two things a little differently, or a little more mindfully. So now that we've cracked open the benefits of eggs and how they support your muscles, let's move right into another food that's often overlooked. But it's one of nature's most powerful leg cramp fighters. Let's talk about bananas. Yes, the classic yellow fruit. It's soft, sweet, and so simple you could eat one with your eyes closed, and maybe you have. But don't let their simplicity fool you. Bananas are like gold for your muscles, especially if you're prone to spasms, nighttime cramps, or legs that feel like they've run a marathon just from getting up and down a few stairs. So what makes bananas such a big deal for older adults dealing with leg cramps? It all comes down to one mighty mineral: potassium. Now, potassium is something your body needs, not wants, needs, to help your muscles contract and relax properly. Think of it like the conductor of an orchestra. When potassium levels are where they should be, your muscles work in harmony, every part moving as it should. But when potassium dips too low, that harmony breaks, and that's when cramps, twitches, and even weakness can strike. As we get older, our bodies tend to lose potassium more easily, especially if we're taking certain medications like diuretics for high blood pressure, or if we're not eating as well as we used to. That's where bananas come in. Just one medium banana can provide around 400 milligrams of potassium, which goes a long way toward helping those muscles stay balanced and calm. But there's something else I love about bananas, especially for folks in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. They're soft, easy to chew, easy to digest. You don't need to cook or prepare anything complicated, just peel and eat. And for anyone who lives alone or doesn't always feel like making a big fuss in the kitchen, bananas are as low effort as it gets. Now, I know some people get a little nervous about sugar in fruit, especially if they're watching their blood sugar. And that's a fair concern. But here's the thing. The natural sugars in bananas are packaged with fiber, which helps slow down how quickly that sugar hits your bloodstream. If you enjoy your banana with a handful of nuts, a little peanut butter, or even a spoonful of Greek yogurt, you create a lovely balance of energy, protein, and minerals that can help keep you full, steady, and energized without the crash. I remember talking to a sweet lady named Ruth who had just turned 74. She told me her legs used to cramp up so badly at night that she dreaded going to bed. And when she finally mentioned it to her doctor, he asked about her diet. Turns out she'd been skipping fruits entirely because she thought they were too sugary. After adding just one banana a day, usually around mid-morning, she started sleeping better, her cramps eased up, and she felt stronger during her morning walks. I didn't think something so small could matter so much, she told me with a smile. But that's the beauty of it. Sometimes the simplest foods are the most healing. So if you haven't had a banana in a while, maybe now's a good time to grab a bunch on your next grocery trip. Leave them out on the counter right where you'll see them. Let them be a little yellow reminder that your muscles deserve care, your body deserves nourishment, and your comfort matters. And I'd love to hear from you truly. Have you noticed any foods that seem to help or hurt your leg cramps? Maybe you've tried eating a banana before bed, or maybe there's an old family remedy that's been passed down. Share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who might be reading your story and feel a little less alone because of it. The truth is, we're all learning from each other. That's what makes this community so beautiful. Aging isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it together, with grace, with curiosity, and with kindness. Now, we've covered eggs and bananas, two wonderfully simple, accessible foods that have real muscle-soothing power. And there's one more food I want to tell you about, one that might surprise you even more. But before we move into that, just take a moment. Let yourself feel proud that you're even here, listening, exploring, being open to new ideas. That matters. We'll continue in just a bit, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. I always say, every season of life brings a little wisdom with it, and the longer we live, the better we start to understand our bodies. We learn to listen to those subtle whispers, the way our legs feel heavier after a long day, or how we instinctively stretch out a tight calf before it tightens into a full-on cramp. And here's the thing, we may not move like we used to in our 20s, but that doesn't mean we can't move better, smarter, with more comfort, more intention, and yes, more strength. Now, we've already talked about the muscle-supporting power of eggs and the potassium-rich comfort of bananas. But there's one more food I want to bring into the picture. One that's humble, hearty, and deeply healing. It's something that's been around for generations, cooked up in soups, slow cookers, and Sunday dinners. I'm talking about leafy greens. And not just any greens, think spinach, Swiss chard, and kale. These rich, dark greens might not look flashy, but they're absolute superheroes when it comes to protecting our muscles, especially from those painful, sudden cramps that wake us up at night or catch us off guard during the day. So why greens? What's so special about them? Well, for starters, they're packed with two critical minerals, magnesium and calcium. These two work like best friends when it comes to relaxing your muscles. Magnesium, especially, is one of the most common mineral deficiencies in adults over 60, and it just so happens to be one of the biggest culprits behind leg cramps. Picture this, magnesium is like the brakes in your muscle system. It tells your muscles, alright, time to relax now. Without enough of it, your muscles keep firing. That's when the twitching, cramping, and tightness kick in. Now, spinach is a top contender here. 1 cup of cooked spinach gives you nearly 40% of your daily magnesium needs, plus calcium and potassium as a bonus. And it's not just about 1 or 2 nutrients, it's about how they all work together. That's the beauty of whole foods. They don't come in pieces, they come as nature intended, balanced, nourishing, and complete. I remember a gentleman named George. He was 68 and still loved tending to his backyard garden. But after a particularly cold winter, he told me his legs started cramping every time he stood too long while pruning. He didn't want to give up gardening, but he was starting to think maybe his body was trying to tell him it was time. Well, turns out George had been cutting back on leafy greens because he thought they were rabbit food. After we talked, he started making a simple spinach sauté with garlic and olive oil a few nights a week. Nothing fancy. Just easy, tasty, and full of those muscle-relaxing minerals. A few weeks later, he told me, I'm back in the garden. And no more cramps. Now that's what I love to hear. And here's something else to consider. Leafy greens are also incredibly hydrating. They're full of water, fiber, and antioxidants that help keep your muscles not just nourished but well lubricated. When you combine good hydration with proper minerals, your muscles thank you every step of the way. And if you're not a fan of cooked greens, that's okay. You can blend a handful into a smoothie with a banana and a bit of milk. Or toss some spinach into scrambled eggs. You don't have to overhaul your meals. Just find little ways to sneak those greens in. Your legs, and the rest of your body, will feel the difference. Now, I want to pause here for just a moment and say something important. It's easy to feel frustrated when our bodies don't cooperate the way they used to. Maybe your legs cramp when you're doing something simple like walking the dog or standing at the sink. And you wonder, why now? Why me? Let me gently remind you, your body isn't betraying you. It's talking to you. These signals, these cramps, these twinges, they're just your body's way of asking for support. And the good news is support is within reach. It's in the foods you eat, the water you drink, the rest you allow yourself to take. You are not powerless. You are wise, capable, and worthy of feeling strong and well. If this part of the conversation is resonating with you, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. Not because of numbers or algorithms, but because this space was created for you. For your questions, your growth, your health journey. And every time we post, we want it to feel like a warm visit with a good friend who just wants to see you thrive. You deserve that. Alright, now we've talked about 3 simple, powerful foods: eggs, bananas, and leafy greens. Together, they create a beautiful foundation for reducing cramps and improving muscle strength naturally, without anything extreme or overwhelming. And even though we're more than halfway through, there's still more I want to share with you. Some extra insights and tips that often get overlooked, but can make a world of difference when it comes to easing discomfort and reclaiming energy. So, take a moment, maybe stretch those legs, grab a glass of water, and meet me in the next part of our conversation. We're not done yet. There's something beautiful about the little things we do daily, the small choices, the quiet routines, the familiar meals. And as we talk more about stopping leg cramps and building strength, I want to remind you, it's the little shifts that often make the biggest difference, especially as we move gracefully through our 60s, 70s, and beyond. So far, we've explored 3 muscle-loving foods: eggs, bananas, and leafy greens. But sometimes, even when we're eating well, those cramps still sneak up. That's when we have to look a little deeper at what else might be stirring the pot. Let's talk for a moment about hydration. Not just water, but how we hydrate. You see, most of us were raised to think that 8 glasses of water a day was the golden rule. But the truth is, after 60, our bodies hold water differently. We may not feel as thirsty as we once did even when we need it. And that can lead to muscle stiffness, cramping, and fatigue that creeps in during the day, or worse, wakes us up at night. Now, you don't need to chug water all day. That's not the goal. Instead, think about consistent sipping. A glass with every meal. A small bottle nearby when you're watching your favorite show. Herbal teas in the evening, chamomile, peppermint, or lemon balm. They count too, and they're soothing on the soul. But here's a little gem most people overlook: adding a pinch of sea salt or a splash of natural electrolyte water. Not the sugary sports drinks, but simple, mineral-rich hydration that gives your muscles the support they need. Sodium, magnesium, potassium, all in balance, are like a gentle orchestra helping your body perform at its best. There's an older woman I know. Her name is Dolores, and she's 74 going on 40. Full of spirit. She used to get leg cramps every time she worked in her flower beds. She blamed it on age, said her muscles were just getting old and tired. But one day, she added a little squeeze of lemon and a dash of sea salt to her water. Nothing major. Just enough to give her body what it was missing. Within a week, the cramps had eased up. She called me laughing. Turns out I wasn't dried up, just dehydrated. It's these small, overlooked steps that often carry the biggest weight. And speaking of overlooked, have you ever thought about how important your circulation is in this whole picture? Let me explain with a story. Picture a quiet stream. When the water flows freely, everything around it thrives. Plants grow, the fish swim, and the air is fresh. But if that stream gets blocked, even a little, things start to stagnate. That's what happens when our circulation slows down. Our muscles, especially in the legs, stop getting the oxygen and nutrients they need. And when that happens, cramping, fatigue, weakness. The good news is, there are simple ways to get that stream flowing again. Gentle movement is one of them. I'm not talking about jumping jacks or power walking. I mean the kind of movement that feels good, stretching in the morning, a short stroll after dinner, even moving your feet in circles while watching TV. Every little movement tells your body, hey, keep the blood flowing. These legs are still working. And if you've ever sat for a long time, on a flight, at church, or in your favorite recliner, you've probably felt that stiffness that creeps in. That's your body's way of saying, let's get some circulation going. So, the next time you're sitting for a while, just wiggle those toes, pump your heels, or stand up and sway a bit. It matters more than you think. Now, another secret weapon? Epsom salt baths. Oh yes, this old-fashioned remedy still holds up. Epsom salts are packed with magnesium, and when you soak in a warm bath with a handful tossed in, it's like your muscles take a big, deep sigh of relief. You can even create a little evening ritual. Dim the lights, play some soft music, add lavender to the bath. You're not just easing leg cramps, you're giving your entire body a moment of peace. And let's be honest, after a lifetime of hard work, caregiving, and getting through tough times, you deserve that peace. You know, one of the things I've learned from this community, yes, from people just like you, is that aging isn't about slowing down, it's about fine-tuning, listening, honoring, adapting. And when it comes to leg cramps, that lesson couldn't be clearer. We don't need to suffer in silence or accept pain as our new normal. Sometimes all it takes is adding the right foods, sipping the right drinks, and treating ourselves with the kind of care we've spent a lifetime giving to others. Now, before we move into the final part of our conversation together, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about your health, for learning with me, and for being part of this beautiful journey we're on together. You are proof that it's never too late to feel better, live stronger, and find new ways to care for yourself. And we're not quite finished yet. In our last part, we're going to gently wrap everything up, bring together the heart of what we've talked about, and leave you with some lasting encouragement that you can carry with you every single day. So if you're feeling inspired, maybe even a little hopeful, stick with me just a little longer. We've come this far together, and I promise, what's coming next will be worth it. Isn't it something how the more we slow down to really listen to our bodies, the more they start to speak up? In whispers at first, maybe a twinge in the leg, a tightness at night, but then in clear, full sentences when we finally give them what they need. Food, movement, rest, kindness. And that's what we've been doing together in this video, learning how to hear what our bodies have been trying to say all along. We started by talking about bananas, that simple, sunny fruit packed with potassium and so easy to work into your day. Then we wandered into the comfort of eggs, humble, nourishing, full of protein that helps rebuild our muscles from the inside out. And let's not forget leafy greens, those quiet little powerhouses rich in magnesium and calcium, exactly what our muscles need to stretch, flex, and rest without complaint. We didn't stop there either. We explored hydration, the overlooked hero of muscle health, and how something as small as a squeeze of lemon in your water can make your legs feel lighter, stronger, and more supported. And we brought in circulation, movement, and even a warm bath with Epsom salts to remind ourselves that healing isn't always about doing more. It's often about doing the right little things with intention. And maybe what's most important about everything we've shared here is this: you are not broken. You are not past the point of feeling strong again. No matter your age, your body still wants to heal. It still wants to feel good. It just needs you to meet it halfway. There's a woman who wrote to me recently. Her name is Jean, she's 81, and she said, "I used to believe that pain was just something I had to accept. But I tried one change, just one. I started eating a banana every morning with a glass of water. Within a week, my legs weren't waking me up anymore. It gave me hope I didn't even know I was missing." Jean's story isn't rare. It's real. It's possible. And it could be your story too. I want you to know how proud I am of you for sticking with me through this. Watching this far, learning, opening your heart to the idea that you matter enough to take care of. Because you do. You've taken care of everyone else for so long, kids, grandkids, friends, maybe even strangers, and now, finally, this is your time. So let's take a moment to honor all that you are. You've lived through decades of change, of love, of hardship, of triumph. And here you are, still showing up, still learning, still growing. That takes strength, real strength. Not the kind you build in a gym, but the kind you carry in your soul. And if leg cramps have been robbing you of rest or making you doubt your mobility, I hope you feel a little more empowered now. I hope you see that relief doesn't have to come from a bottle or a prescription. Sometimes, it starts with what's already in your kitchen, in your garden, or even in your memories of how your mother or grandmother used to care for you. I want you to feel encouraged, not overwhelmed. There's no rush. Start with one change. A banana in the morning, a spinach salad at lunch, a short walk after dinner. Let it grow from there. Let it become a rhythm, a habit, a kindness you give yourself each day. And remember, this isn't just about stopping leg cramps. It's about reclaiming comfort. It's about moving through life with less pain and more freedom. It's about sleeping peacefully, walking confidently, and saying yes to the things that bring you joy. Gardening, dancing, traveling, or simply walking to the mailbox without that sharp, cramping reminder of age. Let this be your reminder that age is not your enemy. It's your story. And like any good story, it's full of chapters. Some soft, some hard, but all deeply human. You're not meant to suffer through the ending. You're meant to savor it. And you deserve to feel well enough to do just that. So before we go, I'll leave you with a small challenge. Something gentle, something loving. Tonight, before you go to bed, take a moment to thank your legs. Yes, really. Thank them for carrying you all these years. For dancing when you were young. For walking miles to work. For standing in the kitchen cooking for others. For supporting your grandkids as they learn to walk. For getting you this far. Then promise them this: I'm going to take better care of you from now on. Because that's the kind of care we all deserve. Kind, patient, respectful. The way we would treat someone we love. And my dear friend, that someone is you. If you found this video helpful or even just comforting, I'd be so grateful if you could give it a like. Maybe even share it with a friend who's been struggling with leg cramps too. Sometimes the smallest gift we can give is hope. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Everyday Seniors. We've got so many more stories, tips, and conversations coming your way, all designed to help you feel strong, joyful, and supported every step of the way. So until next time, take care of those legs, treat yourself with grace, and remember, here at Everyday Seniors, you're never alone on this journey. We walk it together. Here's to living your best life at any age. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or loved one who might benefit. And leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips and uplifting advice for living your best life at any age. Now, if you're ready for more wisdom and encouragement, just click the video that's on your screen right now. It's packed with even more insights made just for you. Take care, stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.